What up, YouTube? This is your president, the Presidential Tourist, back with another video. I'm here at Winter Haven, Florida, at Lakeside Memorial Park. Why I'm here is there's a particular grave site I would like to show you and talk about that person. There's a pretty historical person buried here, and I have some information, but anyways, her name's Betty Skelton Frankman. She's early aviation pioneer, race car driver, businesswoman. There's so much I could say about her. Not a lot of people even know that she's buried here. She was even the first woman to ever go through astronaut testing back in, I think, 59. Anyways, I want to show you her gravesite and share a bit more about her life. Sorry, it's a bit windy here and a very busy road, so it's kind of loud. But anyways, let's get in there and find her gravesite, and then I can tell you more about her. All right, you know what that means. Let's get to it. All right. Oh, success, right here. Took a while, but I finally found her. All right, here she is, buried next to her first husband. She did get remarried after he passed. It looks like some other members of her family is buried here with her. I know she lived for a time here in Winter Haven. I think she lived in the Villages after. Look, it says right on the gravesite, Pioneer Aviation, and beloved wife and world champion. Let me tell you a little bit about her, because she seemed to have been a very fascinating person. I would have loved to have met her. She had quite a life story, and she was really able to make a very big name of herself during a time where it was hard for women to get recognized for anything beyond a small amount of occupations. You know, she was not just a pioneer aviator. She was an auto race car driver. She was once known as the fastest woman on Earth. Very windy. She made her first solo flight at the age of 12. Held a commercial pilot's license by age 16. Certified flight instructor at age 18. She did a lot of stunt flying. You know, full-out acrobatic pilot. She performed in different aviation shows across the country. She set the world speed record for piston engine aircraft and a P-51 Mustang at 421.6 miles per hour. She also set the world light plane altitude record of 25,763 feet in 1949, then broke her own record a couple years later at 29,050 feet. She held the U.S. Female Acrobatic Championship title from 1948 to 1950. And sorry for the wind, I really apologize. She was the first woman to undergo astronaut testing by NASA in 1959. In 1956, she joined the General Motors and became the first woman technical narrator at major auto shows. She did test driving with Corvettes and was the first woman to drive a car in the Indianapolis 500. She set the transcontinental speed record for the New York to Los Angeles, covering 2,913 miles in 56 hours, 58 minutes in 1956. She had land speed records for when at Daytona Beach, Florida in 1957 and Bonneville Salt Flats, Utah in 1965. She was also advertising executive with General Motors, and she was a member of several Hall of Fames, including Motorsports Hall of Fame, Corvette Hall of Fame, International Air Shows Hall of Fame, and National Aviation Hall of Fame, among others. And then here's her first husband's gravesite. He passed in 2001, and I believe she remarried. But yeah, I just wanted to show you her gravesite, tell you about her, how to find if you want to pay her respect. A very interesting lady, a lot of history attached to her, and I'm sure there's many people around here. Unfortunately, with the passage of time, people get forgotten, and it's a shame because someone like her really shouldn't. because she did a lot of history stuff, and she should definitely be remembered. And like I said, it would have been really cool to have met her and talked to her about her life, because I'm sure she had an amazing amount of fascinating stories. But I wanted to show you her gravesite. Again, it's in section T, and there's the lake. It's in the back of the cemetery, and there's the one road. It's right next to the road. I'll show you this direction. But this is where it is. I'm also going to do a bit of a video on touring this cemetery. I've already filmed some of it, showed some different graves, but most of the graves here are flat. Actually, I think all of them are pretty much, except some crypts that they have here. Just be a little careful. There was some people here, I think they were homeless, drug addicts. So that's why I didn't show this cemetery as well as I normally would have, because of that. So I'm being a little bit careful. Just warn you if you want to tour the cemetery and check it out. But here is her grave, and it looks like there are some other members of her family here. I'm assuming the same last name: Myrtle Skelton, David Skelton. I wanted to bet you they might be her brother and his wife, I bet. Maybe. I'm not sure. The guy could have been her father, but she was born in 1926, and I'd be kind of young, but he was born in 1907. But I'm mainly here to cover her grave. Here it is. Alright, any comments, questions, let me know. Thank you for watching. Bye, everybody. Bye.